Hello and welcome to episode number 45 of Just Chillin'. I am one of your hosts, Sean Hoffman.
And I am your other host, Andy Bell. How are you, mate? It's been a week.
I'm all right. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy, COVID free over here. No big
Excellent.
I'm doing all right. I've got I picked up some goodies this week that I've shared some pictures of that I'm very excited about. I've watched some stuff that I'm excited to talk about. And I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'll save some of that. I want to find out how you're doing because I'm over here feeling healthy and strong and breathing clean. How are you feeling? What's new with you?
I'm all right, buddy. I'm okay. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather the last couple of weeks or so, and just getting a few things checked out that making sure that's okay. But yeah, I'm all in all still smiling, as they say. But it's been a rough couple of weeks with various aches and pains. Like I said, getting it checked out. More news to come on that if needs be. But yeah, no, I'm okay, dude. I'm all right. It's been a week. We picked up the dog, mate. We picked up our new puppy on Saturday, which was good fun. So we have Olive. So we picked up Olive on. Sorry, guys, we're laughing about something in the chat. That's really, really unprofessional, and we won't do it again. I do promise you. We picked up Olive on Saturday. That was a day. That was a real day because, the background around the dog. Kind of one of seven, not seen as the pretty. I don't know if I told the listeners this, but she was seen as not being the prettiest, if you like, of her brothers and sisters because she was she's got a, as Dave Strutt. Sorry, Dave Catt's a different friend of mine. Dave Strutt put it, she's got a really good resting bitch face. She looks angry. She's got these amazing eyebrows that make her look angry. And as a result of that, she wasn't perhaps the most popular. So we saw her, fell in love with her. You're coming home. It's so, as they say, I'm permanently got a face like a spanked ass every single day of my life. So having a dog that looks like me is a beautiful thing. So we picked her up. She had her last check with the local vets to make sure everything's okay and everything where it should be, and she's looking good. And she's been an absolute delight ever since then.
Awesome.
She's tiny again, because rescue and everything. She's a lot younger, I think, than normal to come to us. It would have been a few weeks later, but she's only 8 weeks old. She's tiny, about the same size as from end to end as my hand. But she's delightful, and she's still in that lovely stage where she's sleeping all the time. So she'll have 4 or 5 minutes of being manic, and then she'll sleep for a good 2 or 3 hours. I know in 3 or 4 weeks, because we are a family of dogs, we've always had dogs. I know in 3 or 4 weeks she's going to be an absolute pain in the ass, and she will not get any sleep whatsoever. House will be she'll howl the house down in the evening, but it's like having kids. It's no different. It's like having kids. But at the moment, she's good value. She's really, really good value, and she's extraordinarily cute. And she's just in that lollopy stage where she'll run in one direction, make a quick turn, and fall over. And she'll. She does. Our wooden flooring is quite slippery for animals, and she'll run around the room a few times and just literally do a handbrake turn in the middle of the room without intentionally doing it and run off in a different direction. No, she's great. She's really, really good, and she's fitting into the family beautifully. The cats are
awesome.
Initially took one sniff and scarpered, and they've been pretty much living upstairs in the house all week. And the last couple of days, sorry, all week, hasn't even been a week yet, but since we got her. But the last couple of days, they've started venturing downstairs and being a lot more brave and a little bit more inquisitive. And because Olive herself grew up in a place that had lots of cats. I mean, it's kind of like it's a sanctuary, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
cats, dogs, even chickens. I mean, they even have huge bantam chickens there as well, believe it or not, which surprised me when I went there. But the point being is that that she doesn't really care. She doesn't get phased by
Yeah.
cats or anything, and because she ignores them, they're being an awful lot more inquisitive now and don't mind it so much anymore, which is great. Which is absolutely great. At the same time, and I was going to tell you this earlier on before but I think it's funny enough to actually tell the guys on the that are listening. At the same time, meanwhile, while we're picking up the dog, my eldest daughter came with us because, of course, we're picking up a new dog, so she's going to definitely come with us because
Yeah.
she loves animals. But my youngest daughter, sorry, she's on holiday with her boyfriend out in the Dominican Republic, and so we picked this dog up and we're on our way home. Again, it's a long way away, so it's a 6-hour round trip. So it's been a long day and I'm tired. And all of a sudden we get this photograph of her and her boyfriend in a very romantic picture or a pose on the family WhatsApp. And it's like, oh my fuck. She says something along the lines of, we've done it. And I'm like, you're kidding me. You're absolutely kidding me. She's got engaged. She's done it. Anyway, unbeknownst to us, well, she let it fester for a good 15, 20 minutes. And then we get a phone call with her laughing hysterically. No, we haven't done it at all. We just thought we'd wind you up. It's like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What kind of sense of humor, what kind of brain have you got where you thought that would be really, really funny? And I'm not some sort of stuffy dad or anything. It's like, but we haven't even spoken about it. I mean, not that my opinion matters. I mean, most people, including the dogs, including the animals, have more of a say in our house than I do. Not that my opinion matters, but you'd think it would be kind of nice. No, they thought it would. They put it upon themselves that it would be a hilarious idea to wind us up over in the UK by sending this stupid message. But anyway, I mean,
was it winding everybody up or was it just winding you up?
No. I was kind of like a little bit hurt, but Lucy was like outraged, absolutely outraged that she hadn't been told. Meanwhile, I think Chloe knew what was going on, or because she lives with a sister, they have an apartment together in London. They know each other extraordinarily well. She started laughing. I reckon she either knew or she knows Abby's sense of humor, and immediately knew it was going to be a bit. But yeah, that was one of those things. But this is after like a day of like 6 hours driving to get this bloody dog, and it's like, holy shit, only to find out it's a joke. It's like, yeah, but it's not really funny. Go away, don't bother me. Have a nice holiday. Anyway, that was that. So that's been the week, and apart from that, it's been work as usual. A little bit of work. I don't know what it is, but I'm already feeling like I need another holiday, to be honest with you. And of course, we've got Christmas coming up, so I'll take a little bit of time off then. But yeah, it works okay. It's going all right. Same old grindstone, all that stuff. Lots of people that are excited about something that's important in their lives. And that's pretty much been it this week. But I have picked up on an awful lot of stuff, which I'm really keen to talk to you about.
Same.
So have you picked up anything in the news? Because I've picked up some pretty cool stuff.
I picked up some stuff in the news. One of the things I picked up in the news, it's not really news, it's kind of consuming. It's not consuming, it's purchasing, but it's news. A while back, I talked about this like Lego wreath that I was really excited about.
Yeah.
that like has like little blueberries or whatever things and all these different things on it. It's in stores, and I picked it up, and I'm very excited about it.
Nice.
So that's news.
Does that accompany the rest of their botanical stuff, like the one that I really like that you've got that I need to get is the bonsai tree? Does it go along with all that kind of stuff?
I think the it's a little bit nicer, I would say, than the bonsai tree.
Oh, well.
The bonsai tree, the bonsai tree is behind me. The bonsai tree is cool, but it's definitely a different kind of style. I think some of their more realistic botanical stuff that they've been doing recently is really, really cool. Like, I think they started with some of like the tulips and the sunflowers and stuff, but now they've got like these chrysanthemums, and they have like these centerpieces and these wreaths that are like really, really, really detailed. I don't know. It's really cool. Madison said I have to wait, and we're going to do it on Thanksgiving, which is next week. So I'm excited. I just put the box to the side. I don't want to look at it and get too excited yet. I'm like, we'll figure it out that day.
I haven't done. I'm just looking at my. In fact, I don't know if you've noticed. I've had a bit of a rearrange. We're having a bit of a tidy up in here. Like you, I took one look at my shed and I thought this needs a bit of a tidy up. So I'm slowly but surely having a bit of a reorganization here. But my point being, again, going off at a tangent, my point being is that I haven't done any Lego for ages, and I need to think about investing in a bit. Although I don't know where I'm going to put it. Yeah. I especially around Christmas, bit of Lego on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect. No family, no entertaining.
Just quiet.
Sitting there in my joggers, watching an abundance of TV with a bunch of Lego. Oh, that is a classic Christmas for me. Sorry, I interrupted.
Nice. Not a problem. The other news that I've picked up, one thing is kind of news. It's kind of a comment more, because I think most people know about the news. But one thing I want to get your thoughts on it, just real briefly, or not. Like, if you don't have thoughts, we could just move on to the other stuff. I thought there's been a lot of Andor news. We talked about it briefly last week. A lot of stuff coming out of the D23 Brazil, a lot of other things. And I don't say this with any kind of like negativity tinge. There's nothing like that. It's like, a part of me is just like, with Skeleton Crew coming out in like a week, 2 weeks, or whatever it is, 2 weeks. Why are they pushing? Why did they announce all this stuff?
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, it's welcome.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it. But it just seems weird. Like, why did they do that?
It does seem weird, because it does buck a trend. You know, I mean, I don't know how it works. I got no. I would love to be a fly on the wall when it comes down to their marketing and PR as to what strategy they put in, because it's been at times consistently bad.
Yeah.
And at other times not consistent at all. So I don't know, mate. Especially when there is nothing so far we know beyond Andor. Obviously, you know, there is the stuff I'm sure we're going to talk about in a second, that we know has been confirmed now. But when it comes down to live action, everything else is pretty much in incubation or in a holding pattern at the moment. So I don't know. I don't want to say it's blowing your load too early, but it's kind of like, wow. Because I'm so stoked for Skeleton Crew. And I don't know whether it's where my mind's at the moment. I don't know whether it's because I'm experiencing a refreshing, upbeat, and joyful environment like Blue Sky compared to the platform I was using before. But the excitement, the general excitement around this, and I really, really thought because of its target demographic, I really, really thought it would take a slating for it, but it's not. It's got, again, you surround yourself with positive people, you end up with positivity, and I'm really enjoying that. But to your point, to then introduce an awful lot of Andor news that's coming our way as well.
Like suck the oxygen
Maybe.
out of the room a little bit. Like it's
Well,
weird.
maybe, or maybe it just ramps. It just keeps going. Rather than it relying on the holiday, the timing of Skeleton Crew to naturally pull it through, but starting the hype train, and I don't want to say something as terminal as go out with a bang with Andor, but without any other news at the moment, it kind of feels that way. But maybe just making it absolutely bigger than Christendom, that to make it absolutely huge, so that by April 22 next year, it's just absolutely everyone's at fever pitch on the whole thing. Maybe that's the strategy. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's really weird. So what have we seen this week? Sorry.
No, I mean nothing a whole lot. Like it's like, and I think that's the thing. It's like it's not been a lot. I think it's just been a little bit of stuff. I think a little bit of the D23 reels that's been probably mostly to keep people subscribed through Q4, and then the Empire magazine stuff and yada yada yada. Mostly probably just to kind of keep it pushed through the holidays. But then I think what that's done, it's people like Andor so much, it's almost like sucked the air out of the room for Skeleton Crew. I am extremely excited for Skeleton Crew. And so it's like, it's hard to not go into that realm of like, okay, maybe they're just doing this to like, I know the realistic side of me is like, they're probably doing it to keep subscribers through Q4 and into Q1. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. It's hard to not get into the space of like, maybe they're just giving the people who aren't going to like Skeleton Crew something to be happy about. So they're just like,
oh,
happy.
Yeah. Good point.
And it's like, but it does, like, I will be honest, it sucks a teeny smidgen to like be so excited about it, then have everybody be excited, then like feels like half the party leaves to go to a different party.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, where'd everybody go? I thought, what happened to everybody being excited about Skeleton Crew? They're like, Andor. It's like, no, man, come on, what happened to Skeleton Crew? Like, and then you you go through like the stages of grief a little bit, and you're like, hey, I remember when you all watched Andor and everybody was talking about slow burn for the first 5 weeks, and everybody didn't love it in the beginning, and then robble, then all of a sudden everybody loved it. And so no, I was just grieving I was excited about Skeleton Crew.
I am I mean, the Empire magazine, and if you're listening, Catherine, we will, between Sean and I, we will endeavour to get you a copy of Empire magazine. Don't worry about it. It comes out tomorrow, so I've got a few chores tomorrow, so I'll be on a hunt at a couple of newsagents and department stores to try and get you a copy. So don't worry, because I know you're struggling to get a copy in Australia. And in fact, on that point, I'm kind of also glad for our podcast that a lot of this Andor stuff is landing. So I can say with confidence that we are going to record very, very soon part 2 of our Road to Celebration series. And Catherine's going to join us. She's very kindly said, yes, she'll come along and talk about her experiences of celebrations past, but also her expectations and her plans for Tokyo, which will be great. And because you and I have already kind of done the round robin of what we're going to do with Josh week before last, it's going to be great having Catherine here when there's a whole bunch of Andor news coming up, because we can fill the rest of the pod with Andor news, which is fantastic. Because I don't know if you've noticed, she actually quite likes talking about Andor. So that's great. It is great that there's a bunch of stuff there. But onto the Skeleton Crew stuff, I've been doing some speculating in my brain when I've been on my own and just thinking about stuff, typically at 2 a.m.
This is my favorite.
Been doing.
Let me get comfortable. Hold on. Let me shift my cushion on my fold-out chair.
And the more I keep watching that trailer, I keep watching the trailer because it just gives me the feels. And it's like I feel I feel 8 years old again. I feel 10 years old again. I feel that. And interestingly, let me not do what I normally do and go off at tangent and just finish what I'm trying to say in the meantime. I feel a certain way, and because of that, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I really, really, really don't hope there's not Jedi Force and lightsabers involved in it, because I love that. I love that story about normal people, as you know. Despite some of the hints or some of the stuff that they've been trying to they've been trying to allude to with Jude Law's character. But I've been thinking, and I was thinking about this last night, because there is an intention. I believe there's an intention to take this beyond one season, which would be awesome, absolutely awesome. Having something there on a semi-permanent basis for younger viewers, who will be the next generation of Star Wars fans 10 years from now, 20
crew.
years from now, from way beyond my time, once I'm dead and buried. I really want that for the franchise. I really, really do. And I don't want us to be stuck in what happened nearly 50 years ago, because that would be so boring. Despite it being excellent, it'd be so boring. Anyway, I was thinking to myself, I keep watching this damn trailer, and also because I also love the music as well. I love the music, and I love the take on it. I love what it's trying to do. I love the emotions that it's trying to convey, and the feeling it's trying to convey. And the sick side of me also loves the discord that it's created amongst people that just don't get it, don't understand at all as to why it's in there. Anyway, that's the nasty side of me coming out there. Anyway, I got this theory that Jude Law's character is actually a bad guy.
Okay.
I think he's a bad guy. I think he betrays the kids. And it may well be one of those, because the idea of this guy, oh, come with me, we'll come to an arrangement, or we'll make a deal, we'll have a bargain. It's like, these kids are in trouble. What do you need to come to an arrangement about? What do you need to? These kids are actually in trouble. Any right-minded person that gave a shit would say, "Yeah, come with me. I'll save you, kids. Come with me. You're not safe." But also I wouldn't say overacting, but the overexpression of these dangerous pirates that are coming your way. They're out for you. Yeah. They're out for you. So he's almost feeding this atmosphere of fear and putting the living shits into these kids that they are in danger and they need to trust him, and this over-reliance and everything. And I could be reading into it completely wrong, but I was just thinking to myself, you doth protest too much a little bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, the first thing you do with kids is you calm them down. It'll be all right. You're safe with me. It's not a problem. Rather than, there are pirates coming. Quit. You've got to be with. I'm the only person that can save you. Let's come to an agreement. It's like, well, if you're a magnanimous ex-Jedi, or if you're a I don't know, a hero type, that's not the kind of behavior I would have thought you'd have had. I could be completely wrong. I typically am wrong, but I'm getting to a point now where I'm actually quite enjoying speculating as to what's happening. Anyway, that's what I think.
I love every minute of it.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, and it could be, if there is more than one season, it may well be he betrays the children. He's actually one of the pirates himself. There's no coincidence. In the weapon he uses is quite similar to the kind of pistol, the flintlocks design that the pirates are using as well. His clothing, his garb is quite pirate-esque as well. I just think that I wouldn't be surprised if he sets the kids up for his own gain, or to get something out of it, and that going forward, their story keeps intertwining, so the kids then find themselves on their own again, and they're not only escaping from from the pirates, but they're also escaping from Jude Law as well. And then over time, it's a typical character development story in that actually he's become accustomed to the children, and he really starts to like them and everything, and then he does the switcheroo and ends up on their side and saving the day, and who knows, and that all comes out in the end. Anyway, I came up with that, and then on top of that, the other thing I thought of. Sorry, do you want to interject on that first? Because I got another one.
I hope he is a bad guy. I've speculated the same thing of like it's too like similar thing of like he's gaslighting their naivete. Like it's so like 80s like kids thriller. Like you kids don't know what you're in for. You need me to show you the ropes. And I love it. I'm here for it. I think it's fantastic.
It really is the best way I can explain it is think of him as John Silver. So if you've ever read Treasure Island, if you've seen Treasure Island, John Silver is Jim's friend. Jim's friend at the very, very beginning of the book, of the story, who ends up being, of course, the big bad, albeit there is still this emotional connection between him and Jim. Sorry, carry on.
I will say what I hope, my speculation of what I hope it isn't until after your next comment.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, my next comment was I'm trying to work out what this means, the information, the slow or the small tidbits we've been getting from the production crew about the planet that the kids come from, which supposedly they find themselves stranded, lost out there, but nobody has any idea of what this planet is. And there's some speculation. Could it be in a different universe? Could it be in the same universe as as obviously where Ahsoka and those guys are, which would tie that up? Which I hope it's not that obvious, but I guess it would. It could bring about the part of the convergence that we're expecting around them in the Mandoverse, but I kind of want it to be a little bit more separate to that at the moment. I'm kind of mandoed out a little bit. I would like it to be separate. And then I think about in the trailer, again, that damn trailer, I think about the dad taking a look at the security droid and then having to move his head very quickly. There's something going on that planet which seems very tranquil and calm, where the kids came from, but something sinister in my mind is going on there. Hence the reason, and that could be the reason why the planet isn't known. It's been, wiped off the map, the star map, for example. And maybe the reason why Jude Law is befriending the kids is because they can get him to that planet. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's all interconnected. So Jude is a bad guy, and B, what is his objective? His objective is to actually find the kids' planet, because there is something. I wouldn't say a treasure, but there is something. No one knows where it is. No one knows where it is, and his only connection to that planet, or getting there, or finding its location, is through the kids. I could be talking horseshit, dude, but I've really enjoyed myself.
I'm about to double down on your horseshit. I'm about to double down on your horseshit. Here we go. Here's the item that I hope it's not, that I will call the groan, that I will audibly groan if it is related to. I hope that their planet and this story does not relate to. I hope it has nothing to do with the First Order or anything where they go out into the unknown regions, and like this planet has something to do with that. I hope it's not that. I hope we don't. I hope it's not. That's
I agree.
Simple as that. I hope it's not like, because I may have been a little baloneyed up when I was like, I hope these are their real parents, and these kids aren't being trained for the future First Order. Then I was like, whoa, wait a minute, that's insane.
No.
That would be really bad. But then I'm also like, I hope this isn't yada yada yada. But then I was like, on the flip side, what if it would be cool if this had something to do with Alcestis in the Jedi Survivor series and the way out in the middle of effing nowhere people and like where BFE, I'll just call it BFE, like out there, that'd be cool if it had something to do with them. So on the flip side of that, that would be sick. I don't.
It wouldn't explain the bad vibes I get from those droids, but I like it, and it's something fresh enough and exciting enough to hold my interest. Yeah, the First Order stuff, because
it won't happen, but it's something that's in the back of my head going, ugh.
Because the Mandalorian did such a weird job in season 3 of missing the opportunity around cloning and the return of Palpatine, the explanation of Snoke, which I kind of thought it might have done. I don't think anything else. I almost want everything else to stay away from that at the moment, because I think that needs time to gestate and somebody to work it out properly. I want it to be its
if
own
it did,
thing.
It would come later in later seasons for sure.
Not everything needs to connect.
Exactly.
Not everything needs to, and I really hope it doesn't connect. But something like that in particular that helps amplify the really good story that was, the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. That would be really, really fresh. I like that a lot. It was one of the or the end destination. I can't remember the name of the place.
Because the bad vibes would be felt because they don't want people in, and Jude Law could be a pirate, and he's like, I want to get to that place, and the robots could be good robots working to help protect the planet.
But they're over. But they're like nanny robots. They're a little bit controlling. Yeah, no, I get it. No, I do totally get it. Yeah, I like that. I do like that.
My hopes aren't set on it, obviously, but it would be neat.
No. And like then again, I still kind of want it to be its own story.
I do 100%. You know me. If I'm on team. Stop connecting stuff.
And if we get the cameo of the week, then so be it. I know that it happens, and sometimes it's a necessary evil. But I also think that it could be its own standalone thing of just a bunch of kids that got lost and they got themselves into shenanigans. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm really stoked, and I can't wait. It's only a couple of weeks away now, so I'm really, really stoked about what's to be. And it's again, it's like how I felt about Andor before going into it. Obviously, how I felt about Andor at the end of it were two different things. But going into it, I felt really relaxed about Andor because it was such low risk. There was no risk. There was no threat of it being anything that would, thankfully, not touch the sacred text, as it were. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The next thing in the news, if you're ready to move.
No, forward. I'm really cool. I'm just sorry. I'm going. My mind's wandering because I'm really looking forward to this. I really am looking forward to it.
I am more excited about Skeleton Crew than I think I was aware of, and I think than I have been for something in a while. Like I'm excited for all Star Wars, but like Skeleton Crew is probably the most excited I've been in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, not that I've not been excited for other things, but this is like hell yeah. Like so excited that I haven't consumed all of the trailers. Like I've seen this stuff and I've seen people talking. I'm like not super avoiding it. I just haven't watched all the stuff.
I just keep watching that same one over and over again.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking. You have seen the main one, right? The one with where they do the Major Tom. They reinterpret the Peter Schilling track in in Hutties, and
I think I've seen it and or heard it on podcasts so many times. I've either seen it or I've like Mandela effected myself so many times that I've probably yes. I'm just gonna say yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I just keep watching it over and over and over again, and it just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh. It's like, oh my god, there are so many people that may or may not implode because it's completely not their bag, but it's exactly what we need at the moment. It's exactly what we need at the moment. I couldn't think of anything at this time in terms of discord across or frustration, anger, and division across Star Wars as a media entity, but also life in general, and us as human beings. I can't think of anything better than Skeleton Crew. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great.
I hope they either stay quiet or they do implode. Those are the options.
I've even considered even buying a few of the Black Series because the Black Series look absolutely sick, and they've spent a lot of time and a lot of tooling on getting this right, and it looks awesome, absolutely awesome. That dude Neil,
I'm gonna need you to take a minute and breathe. You need to breathe. Talking about
no, I know, man. No, I know, man. But I'm not talking about the whole collection. But that dude Neil, in particular, when he's asked to fly the ship, and everyone's like, "Neil, really? You're going to choose Neil?" I just think it's hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Anyway, right. Sorry, mate. Let's crack on. What else have you got in the news, buddy?
Wicked comes out tomorrow. We may go see it. I don't know. We'll see. I know you're excited.
Yeah, nice. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to dropping off Lucy at the cinema to see that.
A Minecraft trailer dropped, movie trailer dropped that I was not expecting. I know that's kind of outside of a lot of our demographics age range is kind of at the tail end of mine. But I know like my nieces and nephews are really my youngest nephew's really into it, and I'm familiar with the game. Cool. Like I played it tail end of college, and like it's cool that they're making that. And I don't know, I probably won't go see it in the theater, but I'll catch that. It looks pretty. But it's nice that like Dwayne the Rock Johnson's finally not in something like that. But
but they squeeze in Jack Black instead. But I get it. It's normally the default, isn't it? If it's going to be, but no. Anyway, the point being is that I have a soft spot for Minecraft. I love the concept. I love the guys that originally conceived the idea. I love what it's grown into. I love the fact that it's a massive part of STEM now. I love the fact that it's a huge part of education now, which I think is really good. And it gets people, that kids in particular, around. I'm probably going too deep and mean and moody about this, but I love the fact that it facilitates an engagement with children that allows them to build again, as opposed to just consume. And I love that. I love that side of it, and that for me is technology done right. So yeah, and I whether I go and see the film or not is two different things, and it probably will be the complete opposite of what I've just said. But yeah, no, I wasn't expecting it at all. So yeah, it looks a riot. Looks good fun.
The next one that I was not expecting, and I have not strong feelings on either side, but I'm excited. I'm gonna go see it in theaters. Is the How to Train Your Dragon in live action?
You bugger! You took one of mine. I love that franchise. Love that franchise. It is my youngest daughter's, who is now a 24, nearly 25-year-old professional. It is still to this day her favorite movie of all time. And already we've had this conversation that she's really into the books together as well. And so I saw this only yesterday. I stuck it up in the Discord yesterday, and it looks identical, albeit live action. to the original film. And I sent it over to Abs and I said, "Did you know this was happening?" And she went, "Yeah, I did." And they've done a really good job. And it looks identical to the animation. But I tell you what, I'm up for it. Of all the things, when Abby and Abby's quite a geek as well, and we'll talk every now and again about stuff that we like, stuff that we don't. Especially, I mean, you know that she's heavily into Studio Ghibli as well. And one of the things that and some of we talk about an awful lot of the remakes, like the remake of the Lion King or the remake of the Jungle Book in live action. And some of it, we'll talk. Is it necessary? Is it not necessary? It's kind of like the same story rehashed. It's like, yeah, but it's for a new audience, Dad. The classics. Some of the classics going back don't age that well, or don't resonate with as an animated musical as it would do a live action today. And I see her point of view and everything, and both of us agreed unilaterally that I don't care if it's identical. I'm up for this.
Yeah.
And we are going to make a weekend out of this when it comes out, because I cannot wait. How to Train Your Dragon is right up there for me, along with WALL-E, Moana. In fact, more than Moana, but certainly WALL-E. It's up there.
Well, I think that's the thing for me. It's like I will openly admit I usually dismiss a lot of the DreamWorks movies, but the How to Train Your Dragon franchise is top tier franchise. And it's not cynicism. It is like, it's a challenge, I think, of saying, like, doing it this, because what was it, 15 years ago that movie came out? And
something like that.
Like, it's a challenge. Like, that is a high bar that you have to nail. Like, you can't just make it the same. It can't just match it. You have to exceed it. Like, otherwise, like, there's so much that could go wrong for them in this. Like, especially in today's climate of fandom and stuff. Like, it's just so much that could like make it dour. I am going to go see this. I am excited. I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I hope it just fucking rocks. Like, similar to, like, I hope they do it. I hope they do it, because I think there's so many of the Disney ones that they've done where it's like, oh, we're modernizing. And I'm a fan of I'm a fan of modernizing. I'm a fan of the live action, because the newer generation needs it. And, like, I'm sorry, it's just that it doesn't resonate in a lot of ways, especially like, I think some of the the live action ones don't always resonate with me. But yeah, my Little Mermaid is My Little Mermaid, not for any of the weird political reasons, but it's because I know the songs. My Mulan is My Mulan. But, like, I like the modern Lion King and the modern Jungle Book. I think those are cool. Like, it's just, they are what they are. You can take and believe what you want. But this one is one of those ones where it's like, it's so new that I really hope they're putting everything they have into it, because that's a very, very high bar.
Yeah.
To knock it out.
What I love about it, what I saw in the trailer as well that I really, really loved was the fact that they haven't tried to, probably very, very hard actually, but what they've tried to do is to bring the animated, the dragons in particular, into a realistic environment without over realistic sizing them. Is that a word? That's not even a word. Without making it too realistic. Still. Yeah. Toothless is toothless. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. And that scene, I mean, I was in floods. I was in absolutely floods. When he reaches out to, he turns away and reaches out to him, and Toothless bumps him with his nose. Mate. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Anything else, bud?
It's all my news. Everything else is all consumed.
I'll be honest with you, buddy. You've actually you've covered a lot. You've covered a heck of a lot of what I had on mine.
I did my work this week.
Things. Nice. You've only two of the things I've got. Variety confirmed there's a Mass Effect TV series on its way. I hope they do that right.
Looking
I don't
forward
know
to
who
some
the
disappointed people. That's gonna be rough.
yeah. Well,
Who's
if
making
it's
it? Do
if,
you know?
I have no idea. Do you know what? That's the only bit I don't have because I don't even know if they found a. Um,
Amazon.
it's Amazon, is it?
Yes, that's what this article says on Variety. I just pulled that.
Oh, that's
Well,
good. Oh, I've even got it written down here by Amazon. I couldn't see it. Yeah, no. So if they approach it the same way that they did Fallout, then fantastic, absolutely fantastic. If they approach it perhaps the way other people have done other franchises, Halo,
you can say it.
then
You can say it. It won't hurt my feelings.
sorry, mate. Sorry, buddy. It depends on whether they want to, if they want to give the creators the flexibility that they have with Fallout. Fallout was low
Yeah.
risk because it's a story within the Fallout universe. It's kind of
Yeah.
a part of a larger thing,
Yep.
which is creates no risk. It doesn't make. Excuse me a second. It doesn't make the. It doesn't make the. You're not going to be scrutinized. You're not going to have any scrutinization at all because, quite frankly, it's a take on an untold story. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see if it goes down the Commander Shepard route, because it's about an individual, because it's about a personal story. Then it's going to be tough, and there's going to be some expectations. There's going to be some, if they choose a female hero lead, which of course you can do in the game. It's canon, guys. It's canon. And in fact, many times I've played the female lead on Mass Effect 2, my favorite game of all time. It's going to create some problems or some discord out there. And I don't.
Anytime you take an 80-hour campaign and boil it down to an 8-episode TV series, you're gonna have this. Like, you're gonna miss stuff, and exposition's gonna be lost, and it's ripe for disappointment. And that's why I like the Fallout kind of thing. Unless you have a game that's like The Last of Us, where it is story driven, and like the foundation is the story.
Yeah.
Like, not to say that things like Mass Effect and Halo aren't story driven. Like, they have story, but they are not The Last of Us story driven. Like, they need to be more like Fallout, where like you have hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay that have built a universe and built your love and fascination and passion about a universe and story. That's when you need to go maybe more into the let's be in the universe and adapt if we can. Halo's hard because like Master Chief is Halo. Yeah.
And to a certain degree, Commander Shepard is Mass Effect, but he or she doesn't have to be. Yeah. There are some really good characters that can continue their story beyond beyond Mass Effect 3. I know they tried to do that with Andromeda, and it didn't land right. But that was the game, not the idea. So they can do something quite clever. I don't know any more than that, but that's coming. The last thing that I picked up on was that there's a live action Tomb Raider coming out. So Tomb Raider is going to get the reboot. At the moment, Sophie Turner looks like she's going to be the favorite to get that role, which I find weird, but not because of the reasons that perhaps some of the bro boys out there are finding a bit weird. There are people that are responding to this news, or this rumor, that Sophie Turner is going to take over the role of Lara Croft because proportionately, she's not built the same way as a pixelated character from a video game. Which, jog on. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I hope some of these people one day have their own daughters, or have a kind of meaningful relationship with any woman, really, because it's like, really, how can you? I don't know. I don't know. How can you look in a mirror and have and openly and publicly have an opinion like that? Anyway, I'm not going to focus on negativity. I find it weird because I don't think she's a particularly good actress, and it's simple as that. I am all about positivity, and I will give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm open to new ideas. I just don't think she's a particularly amazing actress. She's very
I agree 100%.
she's very British. I hope you understand what I mean by this, but she's very British
No,
drama school. She's very British
I
drama
think she
school.
would be a very good villain in a Laura Croft film.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked I not to say that not that I know that that makes it sound like I'm saying British people make really good villains. That's not what
I mean, we do.
That's
We do.
I mean, it's historically that's like in film nailed it, but I think I liked where they went with some of the other reboots where they went more scrappy. They moved away from that pixelated image, and
I thought the last one was really, really good.
and I think Sophie Turner is like she comes with there's like baggage, but not in a bad way. Like I don't believe she's a great actress either, but I think there is a baggage, not a negative baggage, but there is an archetype that comes with her already if she steps into that role. And I think that is an archetype that you do not want to have start with minute 0 of the film. Be like it affects the whole narrative. Like I just think it's an odd casting. It feels like we're going for a big name, and here's who we got.
I thought. I mean, I thought, to your point, I thought that Alicia Vikander, that was the who played Lara in the Tomb Raider reboot. I thought she did a really, really sterling job, despite the reception of the film itself. I thought she did a really, really sterling job because she has that vulnerability, but she also has that strength and conviction to bust through that adversity she's going through. Sophie, in my mind, is a cookie cutter British drama school type of actor, where I don't. And I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm talking about her performance in. I'm talking about her performance, obviously, as a youngster in Game of Thrones. But I'm also looking at the role that she played in X-Men as well. She was obviously Scarlet
Dark Phoenix.
What was it? Dark Phoenix. Sorry, she. What's her name?
Jean Grey.
Jean. Thank you. Yeah, she played Jean. And she, I don't know. I personally think she lacks voice.
There's a rigidity. There's a rigidity there, of like
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I don't want to. And that works really, really well it worked really, really well. For example, I mean, in the role that she played in Game of Thrones, it would work really well in many types of what I'd call a stereotypical kind of British period production. But and I could be completely wrong, and I'm really open to be proven wrong. But I think it's a weird choice. I just think it's a really, really weird choice.
It feels like a step
we'll
backwards.
See.
If I'm honest,
no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think it's, love or hate Angelina Jolie. She kicked it all off. But that kind of, she ticks all the boxes for young men at the time that expected a Lara Croft to be a certain way and look a certain way, and it's just like, yeah, but you know, we're in 2024 now, and we need something a little bit more nuanced, a little
I
bit
think
more.
it begs the question: what do you want out of a Tomb Raider? What do they want out of a
Yeah,
they
yeah,
Universal
yeah.
Studios, what do they want out of a Tomb Raider movie?
Well, also, I guess, what do I want out of a Tomb Raider movie? And I certainly don't want. I certainly wouldn't want an Angelina Jolie. Yeah, and I could be completely wrong about Sophie Turner. Just a really, really odd choice. Really, really odd choice for me when there are so many strong, and I tell you, it would have been really, really good, really, really good. And I'm trying to remember her name now, and she's actually in Andor, and I've seen her in.
Bix.
No, the lady that plays Mon Mothma's the girl that plays Mon Mothma's niece or cousin. Sorry, trying to think of her name. She's really, really good. She also was in Game of Thrones. She was the Faye Marcy. Faye Marcy that played Vel. She's really, really good, and I thought she would have.
Because I want
She's got that. There's something.
there's a grit. There's a grit
Grit. Yeah, exactly.
that
It's a
that I want out of a
hardness to her. Exactly that. It's a hardness to her.
I want a Tomb Raider franchise to succeed because like I see Tomb Raider as like a modern Indiana Jones minus some of the camp. Like I want like it's a I mean there's still a lot of camp in Tomb Raider, but like I would love it if it became a grittier story driven, like it had like to me it has that potential with the right lead who can just make it really blossom and really take it places. Like kind of like a Captain America. I see it like a Captain America. Like Captain America is like this thing that exists before the movies. It's like he is cheesy comic book stereotypical patriotism, but then you have like the right writing and the right character, and it's like the right actor, and it's like, holy crap, I did not realize what this could become. I see the same thing for Tomb Raider, and it's like you get the right person and the right writing, and I don't think, no shade to Sophie Turner, I just don't think she's right for this role.
That's it. Yeah, I know. I've actually just changed my choice if I was casting director. Jodie Comer. She played the assassin, or the partner of, well, what ends up being the partner, friend, also enemy of Sandra Oh in Killing Eve. If you've ever seen Killing Eve, she's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and she's got that screen gravitas and that grit to hold your attention and to live. She's also does batshit crazy extremely well on screen. If you're going to spend money, that's the type of person I guess I probably would have wanted or would have expected.
She's Ray.
Again, I could be.
She's Ray's mom. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Skywalker.
I can't. Listen, I'm not going to judge. I'm open to everything, and I can't believe that someone like Amazon. Sorry, who's? I don't even know who's doing it for Tomb Raider. I don't even know who's doing it. God, we came prepared, didn't we?
I'll be honest. This is 20 minutes more than I thought I'd be talking about Tomb Raider today, but I'm here for it.
I don't know. I think
now I'm going to sit there and spend. I'm going to spend the rest of my day speculating on who I think should be.
No, it's also Amazon as well. Again, going back to God, they are really churning it out, aren't they? yeah, it's yeah. At the end of the day, if they putting as much, if you've got the same kind of attention to detail, love that they're putting into this, that they're putting into, again, we talked about Mass Effect, and also prior, obviously, what we already know is with Fallout, then they clearly aren't going to cast irresponsibly. So clearly,
Mm.
they've seen something. So
They
what
sure
the
should
fuck
know
do I
more than
know?
we do.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just a bunch of dumb
What the fuck
idiots.
do I know? We've wasted 20 minutes. Sorry, mate. My fault.
That's all right. I enjoyed it.
So that was that. That's
Hey,
the last of the
we're not
news.
getting our hopes up.
Yeah, that's the last of the news. Consuming, my
The
friend.
best
What have you been up to?
final note is the best is if we were like, so you're gonna watch it and be like, no, I'm not gonna watch that.
No, I'll watch it. No, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I will
No.
definitely watch it. Definitely watch it.
All right. So I know you're on a time crunch, so I will try to get through some of these really quickly. I'll just say them briefly. I did watch The Family. The Family watched Flow. But I will reserve if there's no pressing commentary. I do think your family, including the cats, should watch it at some point. No rush. We could chat about it when the time comes. It's a good background thing. I will say for the viewers, Scoop, one of our cats, sat literally 3 inches from the television the entire time and watched this entire movie. It's the one with the animated cats and the other animals, no talking, yada yada yada. I won't ruin it for people. It was good. It was good. The other, I have not watched Say Nothing yet. We have not had a chance to do that. I will save the big one for the last. The other thing I started was I watched episode 1 of Dune Prophecy, aka Game of Worms, is what I'm calling it.
What do you think? I can talk about this with you. This isn't. We don't have to hold back on this. What did you think?
So I have three notes, like 3 notes that I actually wrote, but I have a lot more thoughts. One, Desmond looks like Chris Hall, so I'm happy for Chris for getting an acting on this show. I love a good cocaine CGI reference. Hell yeah, I think that's awesome. I think it was Spice or something like that. I think that was hilarious. But my question for you, being the resident Dune expert, is this show is supposed to take place 10,000 years. Like this is not a spoiler. This is like intro monologue pieces. It's like like AI got crazy, fought humans defeated robots. That's the humans not okay with AI anymore. This takes place like 10,000 years before like the Dune movies.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, why has technology progressed so little between this and the Dune movies? Because they still have the vibro shield things. They have like all of the same kind of technologies 10,000 years before Dune. Like like, is it just kind of like static? And it's like, that's the whole point.
A lot of it's analog. That's the point. A lot of it is now analog. So what you'll see, coming from, obviously this is the start of the Bene Gesserit, which is basically this Histerhood that put it upon themselves to control the line, to control the royal bloodlines by manipulation, with the view eventually to control the galaxy. The technology pretty much remains consistent, although it kind of, there is nothing really net new in technology going forward, although things like capacity of the abilities of the guild navigators that bend space, that they manipulate themselves with spice in order to bend space and to be able to take people from one place, part of the galaxy, to the other, that develops over this time as well, a lot in a lot grander scale. But pretty much what you see at the moment is pretty much the same kind of environment, albeit on a lesser scale. So for example, Arcane, the capital city, is nowhere near as big as it is eventually. But the Fremen are there; everything's pretty much the same. To your point, technology hasn't moved on because it's all analog. It's not that there are no that nothing is with intelligence. I mean, you look at the book that Paul Atreides uses, that albeit has an audible element to it. It's very much a traditional book that he uses in the Denis Villeneuve books. So what happens? So technology pretty much stays static, but evolution accelerates as well. So, for example, an awful lot of the computing that
Mhm.
happens that typically would have happened in microcomputers and with AI are done by people, done by a race of people called the Mentats, which are the human computers, and they develop and they get and they become as dependent. Sorry, they become as dependable as the Bene Gesserit do for the royal households and the elite. So if you think of on one side a king, an emperor, a baron, or a cast member would have a Bene Gesserit as their advisor, as their counsel to um, disseminate the truth from people, to make sure that they're not being sabotaged in any way, make sure they're not receiving any untruths. On the right hand side of that same person, you'd also find a Mentaf as well, a human computer.
Mhm.
You might remember in the first film there was a big guy there that um, was asked Duke Leto asked him a question about numbers, and his eyes rolled up into his head, and he came back with a number which nobody could
Mhm.
compute. Nobody could compute. That was a Mentat, and so while you might not see an awful lot of progression in terms of technology, that's because of the wall. An awful lot of the technology, independent thinking technology, is illegal. It's banned.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why evolution as a species takes precedence over that. That's the best explanation I've got, mate.
So overall, my general thoughts on the show is I'm enjoying it so far. I will say, like kind of everything you said, it's different than what I expected, but it's in a good way. Like I like that they're not going. I think my initial thought was going in that they're going to say, "Oh, we're going to be very low on the mysticism, low on the
Mm,
abilities," and then you're going to see how that's developed. It's like no, they hit the ground saying, "Hey, we can already do the yelling voice thing. We've already got the technology. We can already kind of do
It
the
was new
mind."
though. It was new though. Do you remember it was a new
It
skill
was
that she was
new.
learning?
Well, but my point is like it's not getting into this like weird, very stereotypical political intrigue, very House of Cards, Game of Thrones. It's like it's very heavily leaning into it's that plus the mysticism element of like fate,
Mm,
um, learning that there is more going on and not just we don't have
mm,
any abilities and now we've learned the abilities. It's more like it's you start not at zero, like we're starting at 10, and it's figuring a lot of that out. I think just the first episode, like it's not that slow burn. It's like we're getting into the more of the weird nuance. It's like Arrakis is already involved. We've already got an Atreides. We've already got the Harkonnen. It's like what the part that's mind blowing to me is it's like, dude, what happens for the next 10,000 years? Like the same crap is still going on. Like that's what I think makes it interesting though too. It's like it's so much more complicated and nuanced, and it's almost more real life. Than like it's not as simple as a galactic empire and a single shot blows it up and everything's all different. It's like the
yeah.
big houses are the big houses, and it's more mysticism and yada yada
Well,
yada.
it
I don't know.
kind of
I think it's
makes the.
interesting.
I mean, this is. I mean, when you get to Emperor Padashan, is it Padashan? And Padashan. Anyway, the guy the dude that Christopher Walken played in the second film. When you get to his point, it's kind of like this is the whole problem, is that you've basically got this, I wouldn't say puppet emperor, but this disinterested emperor that um, only really cares about the linear the 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 continuation of their opulence and their luxury. Doesn't really care about the common man as long as the spice still flows. doesn't really care about their subjects, and in fact is quite happy to put his dukes or his deputies, put them against each other in order to. It's a very Caesarian kind of rule, which is like you take your generals and you get them to fight amongst each other, so that there's no collection of power, which ultimately is a bad management style, as we all know, and typically ends up in failure. But it's kind of like that's half the problem, is that the galaxy, you know, this 10,000 years creates a tradition, if you like, just creates a permanence of the haves, the haves not, the wealth, the increase in power, the dependence on spice, the dependence on people that control spice. There's intrigue, so that they need to rely on a sisterhood in order to cut through that intrigue. Everyone's suspicious of each other, and it goes on for 10,000 years. Now, you might say that's unrealistic. It may well be unrealistic, but that's kind of like the point being is that when you get to Paul, it's kind of like, this is something new. This is something new, because over that 10,000 years, myth has been created, has grown about, the Hazat Zidak, the supreme being that will change everything. And even then, as you'll find with Denis' last film, even then it's not, there is, humans are shit. They're just shit. Anyway, yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, mate. I enjoyed it as well. I really, really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed it because it did it right. It did it right. I was a little bit thrown out of kilter because what I love about Dune is that it is so fantastical, and it is so, and yet so, the universe is so regressed in many, many ways. The traditions, the formalities.
Yeah.
It takes me back to, I wouldn't say the Middle Ages, but certainly takes me back to, 1800s UK, for example. A lot of the formalities, the clothing styles, but the way that they dance, the way they engage with each other, the way that women wear their hair, wear veils, their faces veiled. It's very, very. It's a very, very male, very old school male. And Frank Herbert, if you read his books, women were very much objectified in that, and seen as the inferior, purposely, as part of the book, as part of the narrative, was seen as very much a tool, and something, and a possession. And then we saw that scene where they went out to the nightclub, and that threw me a little bit. That's the only thing that threw me a little bit, and I'm okay with it. Don't get me wrong, I'm okay with it.
It felt out of place, I was like,
it felt out of place, bearing in mind the environment. And I'm not saying that all kids kick back and cut loose, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a problem. But it just seems really, really weird that there's that environment of hedonism, if you like, with 4 kids that are brought up through the caste system. It seemed really, really odd to me. I was cool with it. I was absolutely cool with it, but it just seemed really, really strange to me. Rest of it I thought was amazing, absolutely amazing. I think they did it exactly right. I know, or I've got a really good guess. There's a lot of people that will be watching this. A lot of certain type of people are watching this and thinking, "Oh God, it's boring," and B, why are they focusing so much on this group of women? And I'm so glad they weren't afraid to do something more fantastical, more action-packed than the rest of it, because it sets up exactly where it should be. And if people don't like it, don't fucking watch it, because this isn't for you. I loved it.
I like
in
that they're not stepping away from the weird. The Dune, because to me, Dune is has a weird, there's a level of weird that it has. So I like that they're not stepping. They're not stepping away from it. It's like
No.
it's got weird. It's like a patina on it. I always compare it to like brutalist architecture. Like
Mm.
there's just something about it that's just kind of like meh, like skewed a little bit. That's how I see Dune, and I like that the show has it. It like, and I think that's your point. That ending scene where they're at the club. It's like it feels removed. It feels very Canto Bite. It feels very
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
step
It doesn't.
away. It's like what? I'm
It
sure they'll do
doesn't.
something with it, but
It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel integrated. It doesn't. It doesn't feel.
mhm,
It feels integrated. It feels like something out of Cyberpunk, and not something out of
yeah,
Doom with with high law. High law, high fashion, high. Everything is absolutely um, diamond cut. But no, going back to it, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and it was a really, really lovingly for me slow episode to set us
mhm,
up and to set up out the players. Here are the players, and I thought it was beautifully done. And had they come in with shooty, wormy, excitement, I probably still would have enjoyed it, but I've enjoyed it in a different way. And I think that
yeah,
what they're doing here is exactly right. And it takes, guys, it takes a little bit of fucking intelligence to actually understand what's going on. Sorry, guys, but that's the way it is. That's the way that June has always been, and I love it. I love it for that. So yeah, if there's a few folk that don't like it, then that's fine. It's not different strokes, different folks. I'm fine with that, but just don't berate it because at the moment I think it's great, and I feel the same way about it as I probably did a lot of Acolyte as well. In that the focus
mm,
on the different, the focus is on extremely empowered and clever women. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I loved it. I loved it, man. Anything else, mate?
I am completely caught up on Arcane, but I think we can probably save it.
Oh,
We can save that if you want.
are you season 2 caught up as well?
I am completely caught up. I am I am ready for the final 3 episodes this weekend.
Right. We can carry over a little bit. What? Anything else you saw apart from Arcane? Because I need to talk to you
No,
about Arcane.
no, I did not see anything else. I have watched a lot of Arcane, and I am sick of hearing that effing song. That God, it's
Okay.
okay. But what have you watched?
So over the weekend, Deadpool and Wolverine landed on Disney Plus. We were battered on Saturday evening after that long journey, so we ended up watching that with Chloe, and that was good fun. Just watching that again, and I watched it again, and I was like, yeah, this has got legs. It deserved what it made in the box office. It's really quite. It really has kind of reinvigorated an awful lot of how I felt in. Sorry, it reinvigorated an awful lot in me about how I felt about superhero movies at the moment. So that was good. Um, Shrinking Series 2. Love it. Absolutely love it. Silo Series 2. So Silo also Series 2 released on last week on Apple TV Plus. And I watched the first episode of Series 2. Looks great. Looks really, really good. It takes our our hero beyond the initial silo that she was based in to other reaches, another silo as well, and the story continues, and it looks really, really good. Really high production values again, and I'm really looking forward to that. I won't talk to it because you and I haven't been able to talk about that up until now. Listening to, um, I follow a guy on on Facebook, and basically he's a big Instagrammer, big TikToker, and he's called Garen No One. He's the Irish guy that occasionally
Oh,
you and
love
I
it.
will exchange. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, he's been pushed so hard. He started his own pod. Are you aware of that? He's now got a
No, I haven't.
podcast. Okay, I think he's only 7 or 8 episodes in, but he's basically got a podcast that's focused on having guests on. Good result. And he asked them about their favorite snack, their favorite drink, and their favorite meal. And that's the whole premise of the entire podcast. And it's just, I just find it a delight to listen to. He could be talking
That makes
about,
sense. The clips that I've seen of him talking with random people about mixing tea and stuff, that makes
he
a lot
talks
more
about
sense.
when he talks about you guys in the US making a cup of tea. It's hilarious. But yeah, no, he started up his own podcast. It's called Listen, I'm Delicious. And I recommend it if you like his kind of take. I think he's delightful, and he makes me laugh. And he's permanently taking the piss out of the English, so I find him even funnier. Which leaves, so I've also seen Dune Prophecy, which we've just spoken about, which leaves The Wild Robot. Sorry, my apologies. Because of your recommendation, I got to see The Wild Robot with Lucy, just the two of us. And mate, we're in flood of tears again.
And the cat. And the cat.
And the cat. Sorry, yes. I sent Sean a picture of our cat B. She fell in love with the program and just sat with us for 2 hours worth of great animation, and just didn't take her eyes off the screen once. So that was quite funny. But yeah, The Wild Robot, guys. If you haven't seen it, I thoroughly recommend it. Again, it's another DreamWorks production. And it's the same kind of getting you in the feels kind of production values that How to Train Your Dragon did, not the more comedic kind of stuff that you'd see from something like
not Minions and stuff
like
that.
Yeah, Minions, or what's the animal one, the zoo one? Casablanca. Not Casablanca. What's it called?
Like Ice Age and
yeah, what's the what? Come on. What's the one
thing.
with? Anyway, yeah, it is. It's very, very, very good indeed. That's why I'm getting tired now. Yeah, it's good, and it's a story of a robot, a home robot, a maintenance robot, a robot that's been designed to service a family, and it gets stranded on a desert island, and it finds a new purpose in life in befriending the local wildlife, and becomes a pivotal part of their survival and coexistence. And it's beautiful, absolutely an amazing film, and at times extremely sad.
Like you think you know what it's going to be, funny. But you don't. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't.
No. I mean, to your point, it's quite brutal in places. I mean, it's kind of like there are some Bambi mum moments in there, yeah, but yeah, really, really good, really, really great recommendation. Thank you, Sean. That was very, very cool indeed. Which leaves, I'm going to do a whole episode on this because this is my favorite animation of all time ever. But I do want to talk to you. I cannot ignore the fact that you've burnt through Arcane. Tell me what you think, mate.
I will. I want to save.
And I'll tell you what. Let's have an agreement. Next weekend, we've got our buddy Catherine on the call.
Yes.
The following week, we'll dedicate it, because we'd have seen the end of season 2, which is the finale of the whole thing. We'll dedicate that episode to doing a proper deep dive on Arcane. Does that work for you?
Yeah, we can. That's what I'm saying. I think we can do a full show and a season 2 in the future, because I think the finale is this weekend in a couple days.
Yeah. So okay, tell me what you think then. And do you understand why I love it so much?
I mean, it's a great story. I'm gonna specifically talk about season 1.
Yeah.
Um, I I really enjoyed it. I fucking hate the theme song. I hate the theme song. I was never one who like really disliked Imagine Dragons. Isn't that who it is? Yeah. But
Yeah.
the second they played it in the episode as like the band, I'm like, that was it.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it for me. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, thank you.
Just ignore it. Just ignore it. It's
Yeah,
5 minutes of your life.
that was okay. So now I'm done with that complaint. In terms of like the show, season 1 really did a lot for me. I really loved
Wow.
the animation style. I really liked the character building. I really liked the I don't have sisters. I don't have kids. I like
Mhm.
the dynamic and the interaction between the sisters growing up in the beginning. And by the way, I'm not going to talk like major spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, like don't listen to this. Um, um, and I liked how that story kind of transcended. I have a lot of additional thoughts that I'm going to say about the series as a whole and what I think, not necessarily positive or negative, but what I think about some of the overarching thoughts. I'll save those for the future episode. But I really liked season 1 in encapsulation. I thought the
Yeah.
pacing was great. I thought the story was great. I thought the world building was really good. I don't think it overstretched in any ways. I think it did a really good job at kind of describing and kind of world I keep saying world building of like world building in a way that's like there was always a reason to keep watching the next episode of like you didn't feel like there was not filler but like exposition for the sake of exposition. Like it was really
Mhm.
well strung together. Like
Mhm.
the beats kind of kept hitting and there was always something exciting happening and the emotional depth was there. Was it perfect? I don't think it was perfect. I wish the show wouldn't lean on modern music so much. Uh, hint or spoiler for season 2 criticisms. But not that wasn't as bad on season 1. But I think it was fantastic. I think
Yeah, yeah.
season 1 was
That's a
fantastic.
good point. Actually, that's a good point. Lucy. Again, this is one of those things. One of those. Every so often, only every so often, moments where Andor was one. And there have been others as well where we'll sit down and align. The stars will align and we'll really enjoy it. She loves Arcane with me. But season 2, she's like, God, they're really, really juicing the current talent rather than creating their own score. And I do agree with her at that point. I just fucking love it. I'm just blind drunk with
I
the
have
whole thing.
I have I have things for season 2. I have things I very strongly like, but I have some very pointed criticisms of season 2 as well. But we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. I'm going to save those for when it finishes.
Okay.
Because because I do think it's a bigger picture thing as
Yeah.
well. Um,
I just love the lore. I love the lore. I love the
yeah,
world building. I love the cast system. I love the, and then on top of that, I love the fucking emotion that these clever animators and clever voice artists have been able to portray. Um, the characters and the character development, and I love the way that the you've got these two actors that play the sisters with so much raw emotion,
mm,
especially Jinx, and the way that they've taken this extremely clever actor and animated her character, and then on top of that, superimpose a different style of animation in order to convey the mental anguish, turmoil, and anger that this girl is going through, I think is fucking phenomenal. In particular, there is in season one, it's pretty much there is a defined there is a defined animation style, which I
Yeah.
already think is absolutely perfect. And they overlay that when you get inside Jinx's head with
Yeah.
this, with this, I was about to say, into the Spider-Verse kind of blending of
Yeah.
animation
Yeah.
styles to convey the mental anguish that this girl's going through. And it's just like, it's fucking it's an absolute bloody masterpiece. Because it conveys it so effectively without if they hadn't done that, if they'd have literally kept the same animation style during some of the more introverted moments that she was going through, it wouldn't have worked as well. And it's that side of the art that really, really came across for me and landed. And like I said, the story itself I think is pretty cool. I must admit, I'm getting confused with season 2. It's getting a lot more ethereal, and I'm like, so how did that happen? How did that happen? And I need to go back. I felt it. I really appreciate it.
Going back won't help. Going back won't help. I have gone back, and it's
You
not.
know what I'm.
It's
You
not.
know what I'm getting
It's
at,
not a
don't
you
you?
problem. Yes, I know exactly. I have my notes written right here, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm
It's
getting at. We had a relatively progressive story in. I mean, it's we're talking about the development of the Hexgate and Hextech and all that kind of stuff, and then Hextech is taking on this new is evolving, and I don't understand what it's evolving to. Is it the Arcane, or is it Hextech that's the enabler? There's a whole bunch of stuff there that I need to. I'm sure I'll work it out. I'm sure it'll work it, or indeed, the last 3 episodes will make it a lot more clear. But at the moment, it's gone a little bit. How can I put it? It's almost like the first season was the first 2 hours of 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the second season is the last hour of 2001: A Space Odyssey, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? In that it's gone very ethereal now. We've gone through the uh, we've gone down the rabbit hole. We've gone, and it's I love it.
you're saying it a
I'm
lot. You're
enjoying
saying
it.
it a lot nicer than I am. Like
I am enjoying it.
I'm.
Oh, really?
The last three have made me enjoy it a lot more, because
Oh, really?
the first three of season 2, like I was firmly in kind of in a stance of like, season 1 was like the artistic proof of concept, like kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
look what we've made, like look at what we can do, like this, like
Mm-hmm.
it was this blending of like a vision, art, storytelling
Mm-hmm.
proposed to a business, and then the business was like, all right, we feel this. And then like the first 3 episodes of season 2, like I felt like I was sitting in a room with like sticky notes on a whiteboard of a business meeting saying, we're about to make this a universe, like we're about to make this a franchise.
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
can we take that season 1 I'll throw air quotes, masterpiece that was a huge hit, and how can we make this the biggest thing since
Well,
whatever.
this is. Don't forget, and I could be completely wrong here, but my understanding is this is a prequel to the game.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it's and
so
it's connecting all of it.
this
But it
essentially this journey that we're going through at the moment, at the end of season 2, is leaves us to the world that is left for the game to take over. So they're somewhat hampered as to what they can do and what they have to do. I guess. But at the moment, I've got no idea. I've got just no fucking idea what's going on.
See, I'm living in the world. Like, I'm maybe this is my blissful ignorance of like I'm currently living in the world where like the game is. I'm hoping the game is the inspiration, but I'm hoping they're disconnected because the game is just. It's like Twisted Metal. It's ridiculous. Like it's just it's insanity. Everything is like a trope and insanity. And I think if it does truly stick to that, then I think that really puts a pin on the kind of the Vi and Jinx story, because then you know where it goes. And like there's no and that I think that would just be like, not that I think it's going to go one way or the other.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
especially with what just happened. But I think I was very frustrated with those first three. I'm like, the overuse of modern music, just with this kind of
I get that.
There was even a part of one of those episodes where they had like clips that they reused in like the same music montage, where they showed like the same crowd doing something. Like there were clips that they reused. I'm like, they reused it to like lengthen it to fit the song. But then like I think they've come around like the second.
Oh, was this on episode 1 with the funeral?
It was. I think it was episode 3. Like it was. Okay. I think it was right around the time when they started doing more of the Jinxians, like where like all of a sudden like you black out and you wake up and it's like, wait, what happened? Yeah. Where are all these warriors groups coming from that we're talking about? And there's like Jinxians, and there's this one group who now all of a sudden matters, but they don't matter. And that one group doesn't exist. Now they're back. They exist, but they don't exist. And I felt like the business got way too involved in this beginning of season 2. They're like, we gotta make everybody have a huge storyline. And I feel like they lost some of that, but I feel like they're getting it. They're compressing it back down again. It's insane. Like it's wild what they've been able to do in 5 and 6.
I just think that they've gone. What I found. So yeah, I see what you're saying. And I agree with it for the most part for season 2. My biggest concern for season 2 is that they've gone from a relatively linear progression with season 1, following 3 different stories in parallel to each other that converged right at the end of the season, to what they've done here is that they've gone diametrically apart from each other. Do you know what I mean? They've gone that and that might be the intent. It might be intent is that what you're left with at the end of season 2 is it's fucking chaos. It's absolute chaos. And welcome to now come by our game.
And that will be disappointing. I'll be brutally honest. That'll be
but and it would, No, I'm with you, man.
It's still beautiful, and I like the stuff that they are doing along the way, especially the introduction of the way they've been handling Jinx and Vi and Caitlyn, and I already forgot the little one's name. Maddie can go kick rock. Maddie can go kick rocks, but like, there's just like I like some of that nuance there. It'll be interesting to see what happens. All those other stories are just like, whoa. The siren scream at the end was haunting. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like all the.
We'll deep dive this. Once we've got the finale, we will deep dive this. I do have to. I am cooking this evening.
It's time for you.
I do have to go. However, there's one thing I forgot to tell you. I started watching Megalopolis. And I am going to finish. But I did laugh. I did have a laugh to myself the other day. I have finished. I jumped off Megalopolis pretty much exactly the same time point as I jumped off Rebel Moon Director's Cut Part 2. It's going to need some concentration, mate. It really is. And it looks beautiful. It looks absolutely amazing. But there's a couple of things. I'll say before, because you'll know where I jumped off. Actually, there's a couple of things that I feel. I don't know how I feel about it. One is the over objectification of women at the beginning of from what I've seen so far, which is being construed as I hope I'm smart enough, but I don't think I am to understand it. I think they're trying to do a take on the class system, and in particular the way that women were treated, perceived, and indeed held themselves during ancient Rome. But the over objectification of it at the very beginning of it so far made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And it's like at what point do you say this is in the mind of a creative genius in Francis Ford Coppola, and then you hear about some of the stuff that happened on set behind the scenes. It's like, yeah, I'm not sure. And that's a personal thing. This is a personal thing.
Yeah.
And again, with all this kind of stuff, I think about, I'm an old dad, and I think about, how would I feel? I face a lot of shit, with despite it being 2024, with my girls going into the jobs and the education that they wanted to do, still being very, very male dominated, and I don't know. It's just, and at what point do you get away with that kind of objectification because it's art? And I don't know, man. Anyway, there was that, and then secondly, I just thought that there's my favorite kind of art is a kind of subtle, cerebral type of art that really makes you think. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I find that some art, which will appeal to some people, art's in the eye of the beholder. Some of the art that other people like, I don't like, and that's great because we're all different. But some art that is out there for the sake of it being arty, I find sometimes, for me, it comes over as being a little bit pretentious and actually a little bit shit. So at the moment, I don't know how I feel about it. I am going to press on because I feel as if I have to. I feel as if I need to persevere because I want to. And then at the end of it, it's like having a good meal. You have the full meal. You don't have the starter. You have the full meal to have the experience, to get the experience. And I'll make my mind up once I've finished it, and I will finish it, I promise you. But at the moment, it needs an awful lot of
it's a push.
Needs an awful lot of brain power from me at the moment to watch it and understand it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know if there's any understanding it, but I understand you got to focus. It's a lift, but
yeah.
Because if you understand it, let me know, because I'd love to pick your brain.
Excellent. Won't take you long. Okay, mate. Well, thank you very much again for these, as you know, with my little oasis during the week, especially in the middle of the week. Thank you again for recording with me. Appreciate you having the time to fuck around with your day when I'm normally messing you around with timetables and stuff. So I really appreciate it, mate.
No problem, buddy.
And thank you, everyone, for listening to our shtick again. In a week and a bit, so in a week and 2 days, we hope to have our good buddy Catherine Neen on the call with us, talking about Celebration again, but also to let her off the leash and to find out how she's really feeling about Andor Season 2 coming up. So thank you, guys. Look after each other. Look after yourselves. Sean, buddy, take us out, mate.
Thanks, everybody. If you like what you heard, tell your friends or leave us a review. Don't forget to check out our website at justchillin.com for more awesome ways to connect, like our Instagram or our Blue Sky feed and things like that. Like Andy said, you catch us with Catherine, assuming everything goes well. If you like our thoughts on Tomb Raider or a Game of Worms or Skeleton Crew, let us know. You know how to reach us. But until next time,
I think
bye.
you just found the title.
What?
I think you just found the title, mate. Game of Worms. I love it.
Game of Worms. Game of Worms.
There you go.
That's what I'm calling Dune Prophecy now. It's Game of Worms.
In the bag. Bye, guys.
Bye.